Yo, what's up, my wrestling fans? It's your boy E here with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. So we have a great show for you guys lined up today. We're going to talk a little bit about our WWE Friday Night Smackdown review. We have our WWE Backlash review as well. Went pretty well. If you watched it, it was really, really dope. Honestly, all the WWE fans in France are uh, it's the stadium was shaking, the camera was shaking, was absolutely electric. Definitely something that WWE should consider going like forward, like traveling more to France and stuff like that. And thirdly, we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw review, what happened in Backlash, how could it perpetuate, and kind of predict some of the storylines and some of the contention heading toward tonight. It's actually airing right now in Connecticut. And finishing it off, King of the Ring season, Queen of the Ring season. We're going to talk about just basically who can hold the crown of the king, who can hold the crown of the queen. And yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to be super, super dope. So, before we move any further, man, I'm having major technical difficulties. Oh, God. I think it's my internet. Hope you guys see the yeah, there we go. We get a number of questions that come in during the show from viewers like you. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask you guys to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net with your questions. Just put your questions up on top so I can see it. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you want to talk about in terms of wrestling. Maybe potential storylines you would like to see as the viewers. Maybe what you guys thought about Backlash. And honestly, guys, it really, really does help the show. A little positive feedback, a little positive review, does a body good. So, here at the GSMC Sports Network, we love peace, love, and positivity all the way, 1010%. But yeah, like I said, it really helps the show. And again, the link is the gsmcpodcast.net. So, all right, let's move on. So, we're going to go ahead and first segment. Let's see if we can find this. There we go. There we go. Our WWE Smackdown review. So, SmackDown was pretty awesome. SmackDown, especially the SmackDown before Backlash, the SmackDown before any kind of, before kind of any kind of pay per view, deems to be pretty well done. So, let's go ahead and get started. So we started off with an 8-woman tag team match. It was Bayley, Naomi, Bianca, and Jade Cargill. But it was kind of weird. It was kind of weird. Like you saw Bayley and you saw Naomi came out first, and then out came Damage Control with Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and the Kabuki Warriors. And then later came Bianca and Jade. Usually in a 4-man tag team match, everyone's, they're introduced at the same time, which is kind of, like that's like the format. That's the fact that they came out by themselves. I was like, I mean, all right, but I guess that's cool. You guys want to, we get that you're a separate tag team, and we get that you're probably going to win a Backlash, but hey, you don't have to announce it to everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Just kidding. But I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought that was pretty interesting. You saw Damage Control, and then you also saw, Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton she was killing it. She was killing it. She was looking levels above everybody. And when I say that, I mean levels. I mean like Roman Reigns. I'm just kidding. No, she's not that good yet. But she has the potential. She's probably going to see herself. Definitely, she's the future of the WWE Women's Division in terms of SmackDown or WWE Raw. So that's kind of cool. I like seeing Tiffany Stratton in that position. I think she's earned it. I think she deserves it. And ultimately, if she's the next one in line, we have a pretty good, we have something to look forward to. So definitely, love that. I really honestly I saw Jade Cargill as like a baby face, and she's doing really, really good. Her and Bianca are definitely a team that the people wanted to see, especially Jade coming out of AEW. But honestly, I just see Jade over so much. And like I said before, this is kind of, I've watched Backlash. I've seen what happened. I saw who won the WWE World Women's Championships. But ultimately, I kind of see Jade as more like a baby face, and maybe Bianca being like kind of like a heel. You saw her, with the whole thing with Bayley, and like Bianca Belair still obviously hates Bayley, and that's all power to her, basically because of what happened with Damage Control constantly and constantly just screwing up Bianca's chance of winning the championship. And I don't know, it hurts. And she's holding that animosity and she's holding that grudge, which is, eventually going to happen and it's going to blow up in the ring. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. She can't really forgive and forget in terms of what happened with Bailey, during damage controls. That's what I basically want to say. Next, we saw Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes declares himself in the King of the Ring. I thought it was kind of cool because he was face to face with Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is like a huge powerhouse. Obviously, that guy is like, that guy's levels above, man. Like, he's championship ready. He's championship worthy. You could definitely put a strap on Bobby Lashley, but you're gonna see him in about probably with Carmelo Hayes. It's gonna be pretty cool. I don't know if they're gonna push over Carmelo so much, or maybe Carmelo might enter the stable of the Street Profits and Lashley. But ultimately, I think this is good for Carmelo Hayes. It's great for Carmelo Hayes solely because you fought against Cody Rhodes in your first match on WWE Smackdown. Your second match, if you end up fighting Bobby Lashley, two good guys, two dudes, two wolf dogs in the term of wrestling and stuff like that. If you want to beat the best, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So you have two guys under your belt. If you win or lose, doesn't matter. That's experience. A lot of people, undervalue that. A lot of people want to, they pay attention to the wins, the losses, and stuff like that. Yeah, that's cool and everything. But at the same time, you kind of have to, experience is one thing. Experience is one thing. This is kind of like, what I tell myself and kind of like what I'm going to tell my kids when they get older, especially when they get done with college, when they, do an internship or they're trying to like enter the world and stuff like that. Like, hey, like if you don't get your, the first couple of tries, but that's not bad. Like, what I mean? You go out there, you do the interview and stuff like that, you're learning, you're kind of finding out what the industry kind of wants and stuff like that. Like when you go into an interview, you don't want to like kind of bull spit your way through, like, because you don't want to lie. Because when push comes to shove and they're like, oh, well, on your resume it says you knew this and that and the other, and you're like, eventually the truth will come out. So, definitely something that kind of, relates to the subject matter is that experience matters. Experience does matter. Win or lose, you don't get the job, get the job. All in all, it's all gravy, baby. It's all gravy. So, okay, moving on. So, we have AOP in the New Catch Republic. Ultimately, I really honestly don't see how the Authors of Pain didn't really wound up on WWE NXT. They probably will in the future, but right now the New Cats Republic, thanks to them interfering on the match, helping out Frazier and Axiom during NXT Spring Break in week 2. Mostly, I feel like this is kind of building up to maybe the Authors of Pain, also with Scarlett and also with Karrion Cross. I like the Final Testament so far. I feel like they're good. They're good. They're those guys. I feel like they're kind of like the new Judgment Day. And I don't know if any of y'all like agree with me and stuff like that, but I don't know. They kind of seem like they come out whenever they want. They beat the hell out of anybody they want, and it's just like this dark, ominous tone wherever they come out. Like something crazy is gonna happen. Kind of like what Judgment Day was about when Edge came in, and then he brought Damian Priest, and then Rhea Ripley, and then Finn Balor. They kicked out Edge and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just feel like the way that they're kind of presenting the Final Testament, I don't think I don't think it's gonna work. Honestly, that's just my honest opinion. I don't think with Karrion Cross and the Authors will be like, so far it doesn't seem like it's really working. So, but I doubt the WWE is probably going to split them up. Should be interesting to see in terms of how they go about this, because if I feel like if they do split up, it's crazy how it seems like they're not good together, but if they split apart, they're like further screwed. Like if the Final Testament doesn't consist of AOP, are they going to make it in the tag team division? Maybe. Is Karrion Cross going to make it like in the singles division? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, also, Paul Heyman urged Nick Aldis before WWE Backlash took place. It's in his hands, and he should call off the match between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. This was a good promo. This was a good promo because he just knows how Paul Heyman knows how dangerous Tama Tonga could be, and also Solo Sikoa. But I love Paul Heyman in this spot. I love Paul Heyman. Definitely one of the best WWE, WWF, ECW, just in the whole entire world of wrestling. Paul Heyman, when he opens his mouth and he's on the screen, you pay attention. You pay attention. And then his promos are pretty sick. Pretty sick. Like, it's going to be on your hands, Nick. It's going to be on your hands what happens to these two individuals. It just, it's just, super crazy. It's super cool. I like it. Definitely total kayfabe. As a wrestling dork, definitely like it. And he admitted that he haven't spoken to Roman Reigns after since WWE WrestleMania 40. And then Nick was kind of like, why? Like, what the hell? And then like he kind of knows. Like Paul Heyman knows like big, good business and stuff like that. And he's like, honestly, Roman doesn't really want to know what's happening on SmackDown or Raw at this time because he would be, desperately disappointed, causing him to maybe come back during his health scare or during him trying to just take care of your body. Obviously, self-care is important, especially when you have leukemia like Roman Reigns has throughout he's been battling that his whole entire life. And then he's right now in Hollywood filming a movie. Of course, you have The Rock right now filming a movie as well. The Paul Heyman, like right now, to look into the Bloodline and their future storylines in terms of how it's going to end up, you can kind of tell, like just by Paul Heyman's face, like he, just his fear, his genuine, like kind of like his remorse and stuff like that. I feel like Paul Heyman kind of feels bad for what the Bloodline has done, especially in terms of like Cody Rhodes and the final boss and stuff like that. Because right now he kind of looks at it as if it's like it's gotten out of hand. It's completely gotten out of hand. Roman's not even here, so what am I doing here? The Rock is not even here. He was, Roman Reigns' cousin. I'm gonna let him kind of do his thing. But right now the Bloodline is completely out of control, absolutely out of control. Like we're kind of dig more deep into this, further going on. So we also had the RKO show, the premiere of the RKO show. It was with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman came out and he said, "Do me a favor and back out of the match." And Randy Orton and Kevin Owens were absolutely livid. And then, of course, it happened with the Bloodline came out and attacked Solo Sikoa and Tomatunga. No, Tomatunga and Solo Sikoa came out and attacked the RKO. They went at it and they were just like brawling the whole night. It was these guys were really these guys were ready to fight. These guys were ready to fight. They were ready for WWE Backlash, and they did really, really good. But like I said, we'll get into that more in our next segment. So then we also have the LA Knight versus Angel Garza, which match kind of like baffled me a little bit. And I was like, okay, like let's see what they do with this. But ultimately, it was the LA Knight prevailing. He enters himself into King of the Ring, so that's another. Santos Escobar is also going to be in the King of the Ring. And honestly, throughout this whole show, I kept telling myself, like, I really, honestly, really, really love LA Knight. I like what he's doing in terms of like his promoting, in terms of how they're booking him. I feel like right now he's not really in the main event card, but in due time with patience and stuff like that, I definitely feel like he's gonna be definitely one of the best future WWE stars. So just stay patient with that. Also, Carlito betraying the LWO. It was kind of, this was something that was kind of like predictable where Carlito was upset and he wanted his WrestleMania moment and he wanted it with Ray. And then as soon as, Dragon Lee went down, he was like, all right, I'm going to get the call up. Send me in, coach. Send me in. Ultimately, didn't really happen. Didn't really work out that way. Rey Mysterio chose Andrade, and that kind of furthermore, attributed to why Carlito betrayed the LWO because Rey Mysterio didn't trust him. He honestly didn't think that he was ready to fight, Legado del Fantasma. But I think that was a little bit on Ray at the same time. I feel like it was. You have a guy like Carlito ready to go, and you want to bring in Andrade and stuff like that. Yeah, it's cool. The more the merrier. We love it. We like it. So we deal with it. But ultimately, I feel like if you're definitely, bringing up a guy within your system like Carlito. Carlito was, he's a veteran. He's a veteran. He was in WWE since 2005, where he would like spit apples in people's faces and stuff like that. And then he walked away from WWE, ultimately coming back with his LWO faction. I thought the moment Dragon Lee went down and they were in the ring that Carlito was going to be the next guy. But ultimately he wasn't. Rey Mysterio chose somebody else, and that just angered Carlito, thus causing him to, betray the LWO. So that's kind of where the storyline is with that. Then you saw the WWE Tag Team Championship match. And this match was a good match. But ultimately, I thought the Street Profits were going to take it. I think Paul Levesque is trying to push A-Town down under. Will they keep the belts past SummerSlam? Definitely not. I don't think that it would be smart for him to keep the straps on those guys. But but then again, this could be my fandom toward the Street Profits. Because I, think they're incredible individuals. They're a great tag team. D'Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, absolutely electric to watch inside of the ring. But, ultimately, I guess that's kind of where it went. I didn't really agree with it, but hey, what am I supposed to do? And, like I said before, we had the contract signed at the beginning. Monday Night Raw is the King of the Ring. We're going to talk about that in our Monday Night Raw skit. AJ Styles. AJ Styles was pretty confident heading toward Backlash. I really, really honestly kind of like that, because a lot of people thought from the get-go, they're like, who cares? Cody's going to win anyways. But like, because the promoting, because of the, all the stuff that AJ Styles was doing on WWE Raw, it kind of gave fans like maybe like a thought, maybe like a sliver of hope that maybe this might maybe this might happen. Maybe Cody Rhodes will lose the WWE Championship, at Backlash. So I don't know. It was crazy because he was right when AJ Styles told Cody Rhodes that when Cody came back to the WWE, he was welcomed with open arms. 1,010%. That's just true. That's not slander. That's not me trying to hate on Cody Rhodes' title contention or his title reign so far. Obviously, your dad, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, is going to be pivotal. It's going to prove dividends in terms of you getting like a job kind of thing. So it was right for AJ Styles to kind of attack that. I kind of liked how he did that, to be honest. And then AJ Styles, he was like, hey, when I came into the WWE, I had to work, man. I had to start from the bottom. I had to show these people that were dissing me. Well, not dissing him in general, but kind of looking at where he came from, TNA and Dixie Carter Promotions. And you're kind of looking at that, and they're like, oh, like this guy's a joke. Like this guy's coming from, TNA. This guy's even for the former WCW wrestler. Like, you know what I mean? Like this guy's a flipping joke. And like I mentioned before in a couple of podcasts, that when AJ Styles was signed to the WWE, Vince McMahon didn't know who he was. After all the success AJ Styles has had in the independent wrestling circuit, like Ring of Honor, New Japan Professional Wrestling, and TNA, and it was just baffling. It was baffling. It was crazy. I was like, what do you mean, David? Like that's just absolutely crazy. The phenomenal, really? The phenomenal one, the guy you're signing, really? You don't even know a single shred? Like, did you even do your research before you were like, let's give this guy like $1 million con, bam, like bada boom, and he did it. So AJ Styles, 1,010%, had to work his way up from the depths of the wrestling industry, and ultimately he kind of found himself in WWE. I think he's going to get a new contract, and definitely should, in my opinion. All right, well, hey guys, don't go anywhere. Hope you guys liked the first segment. Talked about our WWE Smackdown review, and next we're going to head into our WWE Backlash review. So, hey, don't go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh,
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just to kind of reflect on what we talked about our WWE Smackdown review. We talked about potential storylines heading into Backlash. Backlash is already done, and we're going to dig into it right now. But before we move on any deeper, we're going to talk about our tips and donations link. Guys, we get a number of questions that come in from viewers during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air in front of millions of people on air, use the gsmcpodcast.net link with your questions. This, like I said before, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me what you want to further talk about. You want to make your voice heard. And like I said, it leaves really like a positive input in terms of, our network and stuff like that. Like I said, we're not like, others, cable networks that are going to charge you for every sports show you watch. Well, to me, this is it's for free. It's for free, man. Like, so why don't you just, why don't you give a bone here, there? Throw us a bone, like, you know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. But do it, because you like the show. Obviously, I love seeing you guys interact. I get a couple of chats and stuff like that, and the moment I see the chat, brought up on the screen, it just excites me. It just gets me going. Love the fans. Love interaction. This is not my show. This is our show. 1,010%. Absolutely. So once again, this really helps the show, and the link is at gsmcpodcast.net. So definitely don't be afraid to, tell me how you feel. Absolutely. Love criticism. Love positive feedback. A little more. Just kidding. Anyways, okay, so let's move on. We have our WWE Backlash review. WWE Backlash was in France. Absolutely crazy. Oh my God. Like, talk about the fans. The fans in France are nuts. It's crazy. Throughout the whole show, I don't think there was a dull moment at all. They were into it. They were completely into it. So will WWE have more shows in France, in Europe? I feel like it'd be smart for them to do so, to be honest. But we don't know what Paul Levesque wants to do, and TKO Promotions. But I feel like having WWE across seas, like, I know it recently has been stated that there will never ever be a WWE WrestleMania in Europe or across seas or something like that. But honestly, just to kind of have that there, I want to be against it. I want to be against it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know how much you want to pander to America, to the United States, in terms of like, okay, WWE is going to stay here and stuff like that. But the fans were nuts. The fans were nuts. I know, like, you have shows in the United States in terms of professional wrestling and WWE all the time, every week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. So of course there's always that exclusiveness to it. But I don't know. I really honestly like the way the fans were. I was watching that, and the fans kind of brought me into it just as much as the superstars did. And I was like, okay, all right, this is kind of cool. Like, you heard everything going on. It felt like a pay-per-view. It felt like a match. It kind of felt like like a FIFA, cup kind of thing. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like it meant a lot to these people. Thus, kind of propelling and reciprocating like a tort, like kind of like behavior that I kind of wanted to emulate. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, it just got me into it. Like, like sometimes where you go to somewhere, or like, let's just say you go to, let's just say you go to like your favorite sports teams. I went to like, no, okay. I went to like an Angels game. I went to an Angels game once, and I think it was the 8th inning, and we were down by like 2 runs. And it's like, you look around at the crowd, Look around the crowd, and no one's into it. Everyone's like, "Oh, they're defeated. They're sulking down in their chairs. Maybe they're drunk or something. I don't know." But I was like, "Dude, like, it's only one run. Like, what the hell?" And I think there was somebody like that was trying to get a chant going. It's like, "Let's go, Angel! Let's go, Angel!" And like people started it, but people just lost it. People just lost it. And I think my wife, she's a Yankees fan, and she's like, see, this is why I can't stand Angels fans because they can't even stand behind their own team." And I was like, well then, like what could I have said? She was absolutely right. Like, anyway, so the fans obviously, kind of made the show. Let's get dive deep into this, kind of running a shorter time. So it started off with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton against the Bloodline. It brawled out from the beginning as we expected it was going to happen. But the bell didn't even ring yet, and these guys were like already fighting in the crowd. Nick Aldis, the general manager of SmackDown, had to come out. He was like, "Hey, like, what, you guys want to tear each other apart? Guess what? No DQ match." And everybody was like, "Oh!" Even I thought, I was like, "Dude, that's badass. I like that. That's cool. That's attitude era-ish. That's so cool, dude." And then, honestly, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens were in control the whole time. They were probably like 75% in control of this match. Obviously, when it matters, when it's time to kind of, flip the switch, try to get a win. Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga ultimately did what they had to do to kind of, get into the position where they were at. Ultimately, we had almost a 3 count, but Tonga Loa had to make his debut, the brother of Tama Tonga, furthering the bloodline. So we still have that new young bloodline alive today. I don't know how deep it runs, but honestly, I thought, you know, Jacob Fatu was gonna make his, but I don't know. It was crazy. It was crazy. But ultimately, I think the match was 5 stars. It was a pretty good match. The way they kind of set it up, definitely awesome. Definitely awesome. So we have our WWE Women's Championship match between Bayley, Naomi, and Tiffany Stratton. It was very competitive between these women, but like what I saw on WWE Smackdown, Tiffany Stratton she's levels above these ladies. Like, you have to respect, of course, the veterans, like Naomi, when she was part of the Funkadactyls and stuff like that with Brodus Clay. And then you saw Bayley. Ultimately, she's been with the company for so long. I feel like she's kind of been through eras and eras of wrestling, different genres. Of course, you have the Four Horsemen, and then of course you had the era where the women were starting to main event pay-per-views and events like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and I think they even main evented Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton, it's Tiffy time in the world of WWE. I think it's perfect. I think she fits the bill so well. I don't want to kind of compare her to a Charlotte Flair because, yeah, Charlotte Flair was kind of like an in-your-face competitor. But at the same time, Tiffany Stratton's like, she's different than that. She's different. She's like really cocky. She's like really in your face. She knows she's good. She's willing to back up her words with, fighting. She's a high flyer with power. She's kind of like I think she's the perfect package. I think she's definitely going to be the champion, heading toward the queen of the ring, heading towards SummerSlam, because I ultimately think whoever's going to win King of the Ring is going to be the next number one contenders for the championship matches at SummerSlam. But ultimately, like I said, I just saw Tiffany Stratton in control of this match all the way, all the way. And to be honest, I was kind of surprised by Bayley's reactions. The fans, the way they got excited to see Bayley. Like, yeah, dude, like I thought, like, of course I know Bayley's like a household name in terms of the WWE. She's been around in the WWE for decades. But I was kind of surprised how popular she was in France. I thought that was pretty cool. Like I said, Tiffany Stratton was definitely, if there was an MVP of this match, although she didn't win, I feel like Tiffany Stratton was the shining star in this wrestling match. It was crazy because Stratton, she almost won just like over and over and over and over again. Honestly, this match, I feel like, although she did not win, was a match to kind of put over Tiffany Stratton. And I felt like WWE did a really, really good job in terms of doing that. You put her in the ring with two very, very highly qualified, very prestigious, very successful, very talented WWE women's division stars and veterans like Naomi, like Bailey. Honestly, I feel like this was probably the best way they can do it in terms of Tiffany Stratton. Paul Levesque probably told Tiffany, like, hey, you might drop this match, but believe me, this match is going to put you on the board more than as if you would win the title. And I know that might sound weird, me saying that, because you're like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, if you win the title, you win the freaking title. Yes, but at the same time, respect. You can hold the championship and you could win, like, what's a good example? What's a good example? Probably, I would say Kevin Owens' reign as a Universal Champion. Like, the only way he kept retaining the title and winning and winning and winning again was because Chris Jericho would interfere and all this other bull spit and stuff like that. That wasn't very respectable. So then you saw this champion, and you're like, man, this guy's like a fake ass champion. Like, this guy, I can't respect this guy. This guy ain't my champion. But ultimately, I feel like that's what that's what they want to avoid. Tiffany Stratton, like, kind of right now, I wouldn't put the belt on her so quick, but in the future, definitely, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with. So, I thought that was pretty cool. So next we saw Jey Uso fighting the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest. But before that, something like really important happened, and a lot of people like kind of, I don't, I don't feel like Jey Uso will ever feud with the Bloodline again. But just this is a big maybe. This is a big maybe. I've had speculation that there would be a Bloodline Civil War, and I know a lot of you guys out there probably think the same thing as me. Obviously, my tribal chief in sports podcasting, the guy, huge wrestling fan. I feel like we've had this belief that there will be a civil war. Ultimately, you will see Jimmy and Jay kind of get back together, and Roman Reigns, or I doubt The Rock would join forces with Jimmy and Jay, but I can see Roman Reigns kind of coming back and then trying to assume his role as the Bloodline leader. Ultimately, can't do it. Solo Sikoa's not going to let that happen. And I can see Roman Reigns constantly probably getting his ass kicked by the new young Bloodline, forcing him to kind of have to rekindle relationships with his former brothers, Jamie and Jey Uso. The people they started it with and stuff like that. Paul Heyman's probably going to bring it together, kind of like that Avengers kind of thing. Like, but ultimately, I feel like I love The Rock, but I think ultimately his story, his place in the storyline of the Bloodline is over. I feel like now he's going to kind of move toward like a Cody Rhodes match, kind of like one of those matches where, he comes back, he was, he acknowledges the Bloodline, but he's like, you know what, I'm done with all that. I said when I come back to WWE, I'm going to challenge you, Cody Rhodes. This is the beginning of our story. No Bloodline. Bloodline's gone. No more Cody Rhodes being the underdog. That's gone too. You're going to have Mano, Imano, respect. Two big, just behemoths of wrestling. Just go at it, and I think it's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see it. But ultimately, this match was pretty awesome to see. Basically, I'm kind of running out of time, so I'm going to wrap this up. But this match was basically just another way for Damian Priest to kind of be more frustrated with what the Judgment Day is doing. I feel like they don't listen to Damian Priest, and I feel like Damian Priest, like you even saw after the match, Jay could have won time and time again. JD McDonough, of course, helped the Judgment Day, and he helped Damian Priest by putting his foot on the bottom rope. And that also makes me think too. I'm like, dude, like Damian, why are you getting mad at these guys? Because I thought to myself, I'm like, Damian Priest is a badass. Yes. Has he ever won a match without the assistance of the Bloodline? Yeah. But ultimately, like, he would have never retained his championship tonight if it wasn't for JD McDonough and the Judgment Day. So ultimately, I feel like I'm kind of like, like on a balance beam. It's kind of going one way, kind of, like, oh yeah, I want to acknowledge Damian Priest as a single star, but I can't really, I really honestly can't. But I don't know. I just right now, Damian Priest really, in my opinion, of course, can't really go on the boat and can't really go on the ledge and be like, I don't need the bloodline, stay out of my business, because they really helped, they really did him a solid. And even after the match, like, he grabbed Finn Balor and like just emasculated him. Finn was pissed. Finn was pissed. Like, definitely something's gonna go down right there. Definitely should be pretty awesome. Um, Absolutely, I thought the match was overall, a pretty good success. Jey Uso showed why he is the main event, Jey Uso, and he wouldn't stay down. He wouldn't, give a Damian Priest the satisfaction of beating him with the South of Heavens choke slam or even the Razor's Edge for that moment. So, pretty crazy, pretty crazy. Next, the WWE World Women's Championship match between the Kabuki Warriors and Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. I thought this match was really, really cool, but ultimately, I don't, like I said, I don't know what they're doing in terms of the storyline between Bianca and Jade. I would love to see these girls kind of go at it as a pair to, as compared to, being on the same side tag team wise. But ultimately, I don't know. But then again, like the Kabuki Warriors, like on Monday Night Raw, you're gonna see Asuka, fighting for the Queen of the Ring. So I think they're gonna try to push her singles career a little more, and like I said, maybe put Io Sky and Kairi Sane together more as like a tag team. But I honestly didn't like it. I didn't like it. I do love Jade's entrance though. Jade Cargill's entrance is like pretty dope. Gives me like an X-Men, theme, X-Men reference. Obviously, Storm is from the X-Men. A storm is coming. She wants to kind of emulate herself as like a superhero, stuff like that. And I thought that was pretty cool. Obviously, you look at like her physique and how she dominates in the ring. Like yeah, honestly, if I was like in a dark alley getting my ass kicked and like I see Jade Cargill, I'd be like, my hero, like what I mean. But like and like even her music too, you kind of have that old like 90s X-Men like cartoon. And then like I don't know, I just kind of definitely part of where she got it from. I'm not trying to pick daisies or trying to like shoot it down or trying to be a jerk off about it, but ultimately I think that's where she kind of got it from. So you know all right, moving on to the main event, we had AJ Styles first Cody Rhodes, and this match was definitely one of the best matches that WWE has had to offer ever since, I don't even want to say since Paul Levesque took over. I would say probably in the Vince McMahon era, from like now to like I want to say like maybe years. Like it's crazy even to say that. And I'm not trying to like of course the Roman Reigns and the Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, they were good. But besides that, do you honestly have like any big memorable matches after that? Like of course you maybe have some, stints at like Monday Night Raw and like SmackDown and stuff like that. But ultimately I feel like this match was big. It was big. They got two hardened veterans in WWE in the whole wrestling industry. Put them against each other. You're like, hey guys, show us what you got. And they put on a hell of a match. It was more. It was like I want to say like a 10 and 15-minute bout. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was a grappling match. Then they even Michael Cole referenced the two former Bullet Club leaders. I thought that was kind of cool. Um, and I just kind of thought about it. Recently, Will Ospreay has been kind of feuding with Triple H and stuff like that. And recently on AEW Dynasty, you had the match between Ospreay and Daniel Bryan, which was amazing. Not trying to discredit that or take anything away from it, but like I said before, Ospreay had beef with Triple H, saying the only reason why he got in the position he was right now is because he is grinding on the boss's daughter, Stephanie McMahon. But this was kind of like a flex. I could be thinking too much into it. Like I said, I am a wrestling dork. I think this was kind of like a flex by Paul Levesque. He was like, hey, all right, you guys want to be known as because I saw it on social media. I saw it on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Like, oh, this might be the best wrestling match you've ever seen in your life between Will Ospreay and the Dragon Daniel Bryan at Dynasty. And I think Triple H kind of saw it. He was like, you know what? Screw that. I'm going to get the two best guys on our roster right now, AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes, and it's going to top that match. And I feel like after this match ended, I think I sided with AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes. It was a great match. Great match. Definitely kept you on the edge of your seat. And of course, it was a title bout. Of course, Ospreay and Brian Danielson. What, I'm never gonna get that name right. Damn it. So, well, it wasn't a title match. It was kind of like a respect of wrestling kind of match, which was cool. But ultimately, I feel like this was kind of a flex by Triple H, and he's like, you know what? You guys are getting credit over at AEW for this. I'm gonna go ahead and do this match, and it's gonna blow your guys' whole pay-per-view out of the water. And I think 1,010%, it was right. It was the right move. And honestly, like I said, I love AEW. I love the superstars that are attached to it, but I feel like this match blew the whole company. And I think that any match that AEW has ever done or will do will never ever hold a candle to what WWE has to offer. And I'm not trying to seem biased. And like I said, I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. I want, like, if someone from AEW creators watching me right now, you're like, oh, dude, screw that guy from the GSM, like with the big nose and stuff like that. How he keeps talking about hamsters, like, screw this guy. Like, like, dude, prove me wrong. Let's do it. Let's do it. This is wrestling. This is something that wrestling fans, we're not afraid of confrontation. Absolutely not. Yes, wrestling is a sport. This sports podcast is probably not going to be like any other podcast you're like listening to or watching because it is a wrestling, there's different aspects in terms of the sports entertainment industry that need to be addressed, that need to be like inclusive and stuff like that because this is wrestling. This is wrestling. So, ultimately, something that I wanted, before we move on, this match was definitely one of the best matches because there was no interference, man. No interference. Two guys, two dudes going at it with the championship. Love Roman Reigns. Every single Roman Reigns' title defenses consist of like someone from the Bloodline interfering, and you look at the Damian Priest and the Jey Uso match interference. Like it's not the same when there's non-interference. But I think the fans get into it a lot more. Definitely want to see more title bouts without interference. I want to see genuine head-to-head matches. And I think we got a lot tonight. Ultimately, Cody hit a super Cody Cutter, Crossroads. Cody Rhodes retains as a WWE Undisputed Champion. Well, guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to move on to our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. So, hey, don't go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about. We talked about our WWE Smackdown review. We also talked about our WWE Backlash review as well. But let's go ahead and jump right on into it right now. Monday Night Raw is currently happening. I haven't watched a single shred of it. I know it already aired on the East Coast. Have not checked Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, yada, yada, yada. So let's kind of, dig on into this. Like, definitely run out of time. Apologize for the late start. But we'll get through this. So we're starting with Monday Night Raw. We're going to have our King of the Queen matches, set for tonight. It's going to start. We're at the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut. And let's just go over, obviously they're probably going to talk about how the LWO addresses Carlito's actions in terms of the group. But it's, also Judgment Day drama lingering, Liv Morgan drama lingering. That's all gonna be addressed tonight on Monday Night Raw. But ultimately, the main thing probably will be the King of the Queen, King and Queen matches. So let's go ahead and get on into this and predict it. So we have our tournament from the men's tournament. We have Gunther, the Ring General, 666 day reign as the Intercontinental Champion. Before being dethroned by Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, against Sheamus. Sheamus came back from the WWE, injured his neck, definitely trying to make a comeback. But honestly, I kind of see Sheamus kind of being levels above in terms of a match between Sheamus. Sheamus, he's a great competitor. I'm not trying to take anything away from Sheamus, but Gunther's kind of riding this wave of momentum right now. Sure, he lost. Sure, he lost his belt at WrestleMania, but why did he lose that match? Was it because of Sami Zayn's in-ring abilities? No. Was it because he got too cocky and started doing moves after moves where he could have pinned Sami Zayn 3 or 4 times and retained his belt? Yes. So come on, let's all be real with it. Obviously, the Gunther is probably going to be victorious in this bout. So I see him moving on. Next, we have Drew McIntyre and Finn Balor. Finn Balor has kind of, starting, I feel like within the next couple of weeks on Raw, you're going to see something that you've never seen in terms of the Judgment Day. You're going to see you're going to see some Civil War kind of going on. I feel like ultimately Damian Priest will be kicked out of the Judgment Day. I can see Dirty Dom, JD McDonough ultimately siding with themselves. They're the new Judgment Day. When they were drafted to Monday Night Raw, you saw Judgment Day, and I know that the champions were protected. But when you saw Raw drafts the Judgment Day and you saw Finn Balor, JD, I don't know, I saw that and I was like, it's kind of weird Damian Priest isn't on there. Even if he's a champion, I thought it was kind of weird how he's not on there, but I was like, all right, that's cool, man. That's cool. But ultimately I think Finn Balor is gonna pick up the victory. I'm hoping for a match between Finn Balor, Damian Priest at SummerSlam. Should be awesome. Honestly, that's what I would shoot for. Kofi Kingston against Rey Mysterio. Honestly, this match, it makes sense to me in a way, but I thought Xavier Woods was going to fight. I thought Xavier Woods was going to represent the New Day. He's obviously the defending king. So kind of and maybe he could have got injured in his last match against Gunther, or maybe him losing to Gunther was kind of oh, I can't do this. Stuff like that. But I don't know. I just thought that it was going to, I don't know, kind of be Xavier Woods taking over, kind of the king of the ring and stuff like that. But, like I said, this match, I feel like Kofi's going to win. I feel like maybe he's going to go out there and try to avenge his partner, stuff like that. Next, we have Ricochet and Ilya Dragunov. Ilya Dragunov will definitely win this match, 1,010%. He's the new guy. He's the new guy for NXT, former WWE NXT champion. I can see Ilya pulling out the victory against the WWE Speed Champion, but it's going to be a great match. Definitely pinpoint this match as one of the best matches you're going to see on WWE Raw tonight. I promise you that. We have the tournament for the women's. We have Zoe Stark versus Ivy Nile. I think ultimately, honestly, I want to see Zoe Stark win. I want to see Zoe Stark. Of course, she had her little thing with Trish Stratus and stuff like that. But ultimately, I want to see her in the ring, finally doing things that she wants to accomplish in the industry and not just kind of be a sidekick. Like I said, she debuted on the WWE roster. She helped Trish, and then she was with Shayna Baszler, some BS tag team that probably should have never even surfaced in WWE creative. But I think she has a lot of talent, and I would love to see her in a WWE Women's Heavyweight title bout in the future of WWE. Then we have Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler against Zelina, Vega. I wanted to say Zelina Gomez. So I know that's totally weird. Zelina is the defending queen of the ring, but I don't think she's going to even make it past the first round. I think this match is going to be easily won by Shayna Baszler, and I would like to see Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark find themselves in the semifinals. That would be pretty cool. Great match. Lyra Valkyrie, newly acquired WWE NXT Women's Division superstar, against Asuka. Like I said before, I think after when the Kabuki Warriors lost the WWE World's Women's Tag Team titles, I feel like this kind of ultimately like lights a fire under Asuka. I think her singles career gets back under control, gets back in the initiative, and ultimately I think she finds glory again because she was a great champion. She's a great champion. She's a great wrestler. She puts superstars over in her matches, kind of like a Becky Lynch, kind of like a Charlotte Flair, kind of like what Rhea Ripley did. But ultimately, she's been kind of I don't want to say hold back because I'm not like trying to crap on the WWE World Women's Champions, Tag Team Champions, but I feel like she's gonna do better on her own. Love Asuka. No one's ready for Asuka. Io Sky against Natalia. Um, I say Natalia wins. I'm gonna pick Natalia. I see Io Sky and Kairi Sane kind of getting back to a tag team. I think they'd be better as a tag team. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to dog on their singles career. By all means, I'm not. Io Sky is a former WWE Women's Champion. Even if you hold the belt, and even if you seem like kind of like a bridge champion, waiting for the next better participant at a better main event, you still deserve some sort of respect. So paying respect to Io Sky. Definitely hope this match is going to be competitive. This match is going to be competitive, but ultimately, I can see Natalia coming out, the Queen of Hearts. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and finish this off here. We have who will be the Queen and King of the ring when this all ends. This is way too early prediction, so let's get started.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just to kind of reflect real quick, we talked about WWE Smackdown review, our WWE Backlash review as well, WWE Raw preview airing right now. And let's go ahead and dig right on into this next segment. Who will be the Queen and King of the ring when this is all over? Like I said before, we want to get started. I kind of want to remind everybody the qualifications I kind of thought of in terms of this segment. So this, I think when I say King or Queen, I feel like these guys are going to go on, have a title match at SummerSlam or further along the road, or I think their careers are definitely going to pop off because of this tournament. Ultimately, back in the WWE history, like you had Stone Cold Steve Austin, Paul Levesque, you had, I think, even Edge, Booker T, and then from the women's, you had Selena Vega, whose career absolutely took off because they won this, prestigious tournament. So, let's go ahead and get this started. First, we're going to start off with Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston, honestly, I'm going to say no. No, definitely not a king. Definitely not king, material. Love Kofi Mania all the way. It's going to be pretty awesome. But ultimately, I don't see Kofi, making it past the first round. Jey Uso. This is a toughie because once again, I know Gunther's kind of in this tournament. But ultimately, I think Jey Uso will make it to the semifinals against Gunther. But I don't know. If Jey Uso wins this King of the Ring, this will absolutely perpetuate him and propel himself into definitely the title picture, perhaps as a future WWE World Heavyweight Champion or maybe a WWE Undisputed Champion. So definitely, a lot to ride on. Definitely, if you're Jey Uso. Rey Mysterio, love Rey Mysterio. Absolute respect for the veteran. The 619. Who's that jumping out the sky? Or EY Mysterio. Here we go not. He's not going to win. Sucks. Like I said, respect him. Not going to happen. Gunther is definitely going to make it to the semifinals. I feel like if he loses, maybe there might be some sort of like storyline developing between, maybe him. When Ilya Dragunov was drafted to the WWE main roster, he said that like it was kind of destiny that he would be on the same show with Gunther. Ultimately, don't want to jump the gun on this one too much, but Gunther's, I definitely think he's a contender. Mentioned in the last segment with the WWE Raw preview. Love Sheamus. Love that he came back. Love that he's doing what he can. Obviously when guys come back from neck injuries, it's not just some, sissy lily injury that it's like, like I'm not trying to compare it to like a broken bone in the lower half of your body, but neck injuries are different, man. They're different. You go into the ring essentially after a neck injury, just knowing one different twist, one different tweak, a botched move, maybe a botched submission move, flying outside of the ring and the wrestlers are supposed to catch you. They don't catch you right. You land on the bottom pavement. Something bad happens. Bam. Guess what? You're back on the shelf again. Or worse, you are retired from the thing you love the most in professional wrestling. So, I'm sorry, Sheamus. I don't think you're going to make it. Ilya Dragunov, I love this guy. Absolutely. I think he's going to have success definitely in the future, the WWE, but I don't think his time is not quite just yet. I think essentially he will make it to the finals. My favorite final contenders, Gunther, Jey Uso, and Ilya Dragunov. So, definitely love Ricochet, but he just became the WWE Speed Champion. Kind of what they wanted to do in terms of Ricochet. Definitely some like a title they should have created for someone like his talent, like his capabilities, like the way the audience loves to see this guy. Something that WWE should have created a long, long time ago, but ultimately didn't really work out. Finn Balor. Where do we put Finn Balor? I love Finn Balor. Definitely hated how his reign as a WWE Universal Champion didn't really surface really well. He got injured in a match with Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. But him winning would just make sense. But like I said, this tournament, man. Paul Levesque did it right. You cannot predict. Well, you can predict a couple matches, but we don't even know who from the SmackDown side yet is going to get the nod to compete in the WWE King of the Ring this year. We don't know. All I know is they're grooming up for a Judgment Day Civil War. Wouldn't Finn Balor win and challenge Damian Priest? Or maybe he loses thanks to Damian Priest or something like that. Maybe they feud beforehand. I can't put my finger on it right now. Your guess, guys, are as good as mine. Put into the tips and donations link. I need help with this one at the GSMCpodcast.net. So let's move on to the girls. Io Sky. Love Io Sky, 1,010%. Former WWE Women's Champion. Dropped her belt to Bayley at WrestleMania 40. But you can't overlook this girl. I've seen her matches. I've seen her, being brought up in WWE NXT. Definitely, I think her idol was definitely one of the Bull Nakano, recently being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. I could see her going a long way, but like I said, I kind of see her more as a tag team, division individual right now. Natalya, love the Hart Dynasty, love what they did in WWE as a whole. Brett, Owen, Jim. But I don't want to say she's too old because that sounds kind of like jerkish. But right now, it's kind of time for the young ones to shine. Like I said, I think it's time for the young ones to kind of come out. Because this is what caused the demise of WCW and TNA, and what kind of, like a little bit of AEW, where you kind of see veterans like Natalya and you're like, oh, people love her, like that's cool and stuff like that. But you have her win a bout against the young talent that you want to promote, because they are going to be the future of your business. And, but honestly, I think if she wins tonight, like maybe past the first round, it's not such a big deal. But, furthermore, if she makes it to the semifinals, I gotta be honest, I'll be a little pissed. Not a hater. Asuka, love Asuka. This is going to be the start of her singles career. Love her. Great wrestler, great superstar. I hope that she wins it all. Hope that she wins it all. I don't know, how much I noticed that Liv Morgan isn't part of the King of the Ring tree, which kind of baffled me at one point. But, which kind of makes me think that maybe somewhere along the lines that whoever wins this WWE Women's King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, will not challenge Becky Lynch. They will challenge Bayley at SummerSlam. So, that's kind of like my future pick. Lyra Valkyrie, love Lyra Valkyrie in WWE NXT. She ultimately beat Becky Lynch, so that would be pretty dope to see her kind of go at it again. But I think she's against Asuka. Like I said before, Asuka's due. And right now, you kind of have those WWE NXT superstars make it like this is their first night. This is their first night on WWE Monday Night Raw. So, in a sense, it's kind of like when a WWE draft or like in an NFL draft, a quarterback or like a star gets drafted and you have high hopes. You have high hopes for them. Of course, that's natural. But ultimately, if they, kind of drop the ball and lose, you kind of have that excuse. You're like, you know what? Yeah, it was their first year, but they looked pretty damn good doing it. The experience factor, definitely think that Lyra Valkyrie's kind of in that same boat. She's going to be, one of the best. Zoe Stark, I love her. I want to see her do better things than just this throwaway superstar that Vince McMahon really hasn't really booked well during his time. Paul Levesque took over. Hopefully he finds a way to kind of keep these superstars, kind of in prestige shape. Not physically, like I'm not talking like, oh, work out, like diet. I'm talking about in terms of like the wrestling world. Make them relevant. Like, just because someone gets on a hot streak doesn't mean they have to absolutely lose the whole freaking time. Like Zoe Stark, like I said, made it to the WWE roster, played second fiddle to Trish Stratus, a veteran, old, played second fiddle to Shayna Baszler. She's not old, but in terms of wrestling and how long she's been in the, in the main card without achieving WWE Women's Championship status, old. I would love to see Zoe Stark branch out, show her capabilities, and just, have a pretty awesome match. Ivy Nile, too young. Too young. I think she's going to put on a great match. I don't think she's like squash match material, but honestly, I haven't really, I don't really know much about her, although, I know she's part of the Creed brothers. And right now she's doing the whole Maxine Dupree thing while Maxine is, tagging with, who's Maxine part? Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot. Not Indy Hartwell. No, that's Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, Maxine Dupree. Oh, that is a partner. Oh my God, I'm the worst wrestling fan in the world. Wow, sorry, it's kind of late over on the West Coast here. But yeah, honestly, I feel like she's more of like a WWE World's women's like tag team division competitor, kind of like Io Sky, Kairi Sane that are going to jump into. But like I said, who knows? Shayna Baszler, love Shayna Baszler. I thought Shayna Baszler is one of those superstars that WWE absolutely failed from the get-go, thus causing her career to be in shambles, causing her to kind of have stupid idiots like me talk on podcasts and be like, Shayna Baszler will never win a championship ever again. WWE did it. I didn't do it. Or, more specifically, Vince McMahon did it. So, hope that they do everything they can to help Shayna Baszler in her career moving forward. She deserves it. Hell of a competitor, hell of a champion. Definitely wish. Love Zelina Vega, LWO. I don't think that she's going to. She's the defending Queen of the Ring. I love it. But when she was the Queen of the Ring, the reason why she won it was because she was so over with the crowd as this heel, as this person that people absolutely dreaded to see. She rubbed it in the crowd's faces and all the women's division. But ultimately, I don't think it's time for her. I don't see her winning this. So, sorry, Zelina, not today. So, yeah, a lot of crazy stuff. And I totally went over time. Apologize, absolutely. Hope you guys aren't hope you guys aren't hating me. I don't know if you guys have plans at 9:11 p.m., on the West Coast time. So on the East Coast, that'd be 11. Oh, it's 11:11 on the East Coast. Have you guys ever had that statement? Like, hey, make a wish. Like, I'm making a wish right now. No, I'm just kidding. Definitely. But ultimately, guys, so King of the Ring, round, happening tonight. It's going to be absolutely dope, absolutely crazy. So make sure you watch it tonight. Definitely. WWE, like I said, I'm probably going to send some live reactions via YouTube. So make sure you check those out. But looks like, hope you guys liked my show. Um, Hope you guys really like my show. Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button and leave a positive review, guys. Honestly, it really does make a difference. We also invite you guys to follow us on Facebook, Twitter /X, Instagram, and TikTok for more content and updates. And like I said, if I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, we have the NBA playoffs heating up. My boy Nelson has the 411 on absolutely everything. Also TJ, Jeremy on sports as well. They're covering that. We have Blake, absolutely phenomenal in turn. These guys are covering sports. These guys are covering the hottest things in sports. But most importantly, it's absolutely free. Absolutely free. Absolutely crazy. Take advantage of what you guys have in front of you right now. Be a part of this GSMC, sports podcast, family bloodline. But, before I bid you guys adieu, I just want to give you guys, I think, the main person that's going to win the King of the Ring. Yeah. Yeah. What's up? What's up? This guy's going to win it. Let's go. Do you guys think Eric's going to win in the King of the Ring in WWE? But yeah, hope you guys like my show. Hope you guys like my shiny new crown. Definitely going to be the one to dethrone Gunther. Wrestling fans right now, pay attention. Just kidding. Probably, if I was part of the King of the Ring, I'd probably get my ass kicked. But hey, hope you guys have a phenomenal night. Hope you guys had a great weekend. And hey, see you tomorrow.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to